start
Yep.
recording.
There we go.
I'm gonna stop sharing.
it.
We're not gonna actually use console board.
That's fair enough. How do you want to do this? Then? Do you want to share anything, or are we just gonna record?
Here, why don't we do this? Why don't I share the Fet Lab and you share the Word document?
Okay.
Oh, actually, we're not gonna type in the Word document, are we? Because everyone's gonna
Nope.
get different results for the most part. So
Yeah, because depending on what
you.
you set, you'll get different things.
All right, we'll just share the Fet Lab then.
Yeah. I'm recording, so if you could share that'd be great. Oh, there goes one. And everyone's so adamant about going over this, and then no one showed up. Alright, I think you could just go straight to lab. That's what I did. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so the first part of the lab is varying the mass, and it says, what is your hypothesis? Well, if we look at the equation, which is conveniently at the end of this packet, which is t is equal to 2 pi square root of L over g, like Alan said earlier, mass is not in the equation. Therefore, and since we're recording period with respect to that mass, so therefore we would expect period to do what as we change the mass?
Nothing will change.
Yes, it should stay the same.
So if we change the mass, then nothing will change because of what?
Because if you look at the equation for period, which is what you're measuring, the mass just isn't taken at all. It's 2 pi length of times the square root of pendulum over length over gravitational force.
So your hypothesis can just be if the mass of the pendulum changes.
Yeah, and you can show it using the
yeah.
lab. You can just do the test and see that nothing.
So the because can really just be because the equation for period does not include mass.
And you can see that if you just quickly set it moving, you can then just mess with the mass slider and nothing will happen. You can drag it all about and nothing will change. Whereas if you were to stop it, whereas if you were to keep doing that and then mess the length, it wildly varies in time taken. Okay, so then the next one, look at it. Next one is part 2, which is varying the length.
Alright, well, before we move on, so you all understand how you would do the experiment itself, right, to get your individual numbers? Or no?
Do you want us to show you how you would get the individual numbers? Do you guys understand how to do that?
Wait, can you show how to get the period? Because I don't... Like, is the formula on there, or are we supposed to, like, know
Yeah,
it?
so you're gonna check this box that says period timer.
Oh,
and
no,
then you're
he
gonna...
said in the instructions, don't use the period timer.
So, like, when you're recording your variables in the table, he said don't use it?
I'll just put it in gen.
Why not?
Oh, okay. So he just wants you to use a regular timer. Like, he wants you to have uncertainty, because if you use the period timer, you get the exact number.
So, if you want to do this the easy way, what you do is you use the period timer and then fudge the last 3 numbers.
No. We didn't tell you to do that.
We didn't tell you to do that.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna pull out the regular stopwatch.
Oh, there's a stopwatch on there.
The period timer. Yeah, you're gonna pull out your stopwatch. You're gonna do this, and you're just gonna time it from when it gets, like, for example, to one end until it gets back there. So if I do that until it gets back, that was 2.01 seconds, and that would be your trial. And then you do that with varying masses.
Yeah. What did we? I remember I looked this up because we used it in so many physics stuff. What's human reaction time again? Because that's gonna be your error here.
Well,
I think it's
yeah.
500 milliseconds, something like that. 2.25 seconds.
Anyway, does that explain how to get your raw data, everyone?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
How do I change the? How do you change the angle thing?
You just drag it, and it will give you the angle when you're dragging it.
You drag the mass itself. I'm
Yep.
smart.
I mean, to be fair,
remember-
most of the time it is a number you change for these simulations. This
Yeah.
time it just happened to not.
Yep. And like the lab says, don't go over 30. And really, you shouldn't go over 15. In my opinion, because like even over 15, you're gonna start getting wacky data. But just stay at small angles is the general consensus here.
So like do 15 or do 10.
How many increments do you need? Is it 5 increments?
So like on the one where you only so for everything but part 3, do like 10 or something, right? Because the first 2 you need to keep it at a constant angle. So just do either 10 or 15. Then for the one where you have to vary the angle, that one you can probably go over 15 because you have to vary the angle and there's not a whole lot of numbers. But for the other ones, just keep it at 10 or 15. Don't go much.
5.
So find them something. Okay, so
I had done 25. Should I change it?
That
I
should
mean,
be
so the lab does say stay under 30, so I mean, you should probably be fine. Just like anywhere over 15, you're generally gonna start getting weird numbers.
It's gonna start following reality less and less. Basically, it start following your equations less and less. So
Alright.
start deviating. But yeah, it should still be fine because basically even if he's wrong, it's his instructions, so he can't mark you off for it.
And then
Okay.
for part C, the periods also don't change, right? Because you don't really have the equation doesn't use the angle.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you mean part C though?
The he means
Like-
part 3.
Like or part 3, not C. Sorry.
Yes, the angle that you started at should not change the period because again, it's not in the equation. And then
is the
part 2.
period in seconds, or do we need to like do math and calculate it?
No, the period is in seconds.
So it's exactly what we got.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
With uncertainty, make sure you keep in your mind your uncertainty. And then part 2, varying the length. This is out of the 3 trials. This is the only one that should affect your period because the only really things if you look at your equation T equals 2 pi L over G that affects your period is gravity, which isn't changing, and length. So length is the only one that affects your period.
I figured out that because this thing is using energy it's trying to conserve the energy as you as the simulation, you can get it to spin really, really, really fast along the axis by dragging up to 90 degrees and then quickly changing it to the shortest length as it reaches its the middle point.
Nice.
I'm
And you
easily
can also
fascinated.
you can turn on friction. It's great.
Oh, look at that. Who would do that? That means that now you can't predict what's gonna happen. It's lame.
Lame people. That's who.
Yep.
All right. So So does everyone understand the key parts of parts 1, 2, and 3?
We say everyone, it's 2 people. Do you guys
I know.
understand?
Yeah.
All right. So when looking at the thing, you do units. So units, angles, degrees, period is in seconds. Uncertainties. Does anyone need help with uncertainties, or y'all got that?
Oh, yeah, for uncertainties, because it says we have to do it for each one. We just make it up, right?
Basically, but for this, a good number to involve in your making up is that for your time, human reaction time is 0.25 seconds. So just count that as your error in your for your time measurement.
0.25.
0.25 seconds, yeah. And then for the only other one that would be changing is length, which is given to you. Like you set the individual number,
Exactly.
so there shouldn't be
An
there should be error
uncertainty.
there. Yeah.
Only the period has it.
Yeah.
Good join. Oh,
Hello.
it's so free.
All right. So then it says in the discussion section. So are you guys supposed to like write stuff in the discussion section? Because there's no like lines here in the discussion section.
I think this is. Is this the whole thing?
I
Well,
know.
look
I
at
think
the
you have to do it on the
look
back.
at the directions. Matt,
Oh,
it says
okay.
you have to discuss stuff.
Yeah, so you have to write a few sentences on the back or something, or like on the bottom.
Okay. Well, so like we said for mass and angle, they're not in the equations. So they don't affect anything. You're right about that.
Do you have to record this for CAS hours?
We don't really have to record like the meetings for class hours. We're just recording them because so you guys can all have them. We just have to like record when we did them.
I just want to make sure it's not like an official.
Yeah, no. We won't be giving these to O'Connor. We might give one of them if it's like supposed to exemplify what we're doing, but besides
Because
that,
like worst comes to worst, you guys can watch Netflix while we try to figure this out, and then whenever we ask questions, you can answer them, and you just watch Netflix. You know?
or better yet, watch YouTube or play League of Legends because those would both be good ideas.
No, Alan, if you play League of Legends, I will attack you.
Why? What's wrong with that?
Because here's the thing: as soon as you start playing League of Legends, you cannot help them because you yourself cannot be helped at that point.
Fair enough. That's a good point. Alright.
It all
Okay,
the
so-
software's by Minecraft, not League.
See, look at this. This is good. They form good habits.
We never play during school. Ever.
I know that that's not true.
Yeah, totally. No one plays during school. Never.
Ethan totally isn't
happens.
streaming XCOM in the school Discord server like for 5 out of the 6 periods of the day.
It's not like Rishabh and I like literally play for 5 periods a day. What?
Yeah, no.
That would never.
I've been watching someone go through an XCOM campaign for 5 of the 6 periods of the day. Believe me, it's.
And then, do we have to put anything in notes?
Is that in the rubric?
No, someone asked him that. He said no. It doesn't matter.
Then
All right.
But wait, what's the small angle approximation?
All right, that's a good question. So, if you want an explanation here, is this new tab on my screen?
Yep.
Or is it not? Okay. So the reason why it's like this is if we look at this. Okay. So we look. This is a line of sine y equals sine of x, and this is the line of y equals x. So if we, and I'll put 15 over 360 times 2. Where's that line?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so this line here is 15 degrees, right? And so you'll notice between 0 and 15 degrees, the line of y equals x and the line of y equals sine of x is almost identical, right? After 15 degrees, they start to diverge, right? And so what sine of x is relating to here is the restoring force, because if you held stop that. If you held this here, and you drew a triangle here, and you know that gravity is affecting and tension and blah 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 blah, you would get some percentage of force that is pulling it towards the middle, right? And so what this is saying is for angles below 15 degrees, the restoring force towards the middle is pretty much the same as if it was just actually pulling it straight towards the middle. And for angles further than 15 degrees, it's not true because it would actually be pulling it more down than towards the middle. And obviously, if you have a restoring force pulling straight towards the middle, it's exactly the same as a spring at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much the small angle stuff. Is that like for angles below 15 degrees, because the values of sine are pretty much the same as just y equals x, that it's pretty much the same as the forces acting on the spring.
So since this isn't recorded for cast hours, we can shit talk Hicks, right?
100%.
100%. I hate Hex.
Okay, that makes sense. And yeah, Andrew, go ahead.
No, I don't know. It's just I just don't like him.
No, like believe me, when I was in his class, I think I spent 3/4 of the time not paying attention.
It's worse because we're online.
Oh yeah. I think for this entire year, I spent 3/4 of the time not paying attention. But even when I was in class, I was like, this is no impact on my learning, and there's nothing important to listen to here. And I just didn't.
Wait, there's everybody like there's so many mixed like idea like everybody has different opinions on his IB Chem class. So like what's like how
So
is it?
I didn't take it purely because Hicks was teaching it.
Purely on principle.
Yeah, no, like, I could get Sebastian in here, and because he was one of the people who took
Yeah,
IB
we,
Chem.
if you want to talk to them, we can get Sebastian.
Yeah,
and
we can
Camille
get
in
Sebastian here,
and
who
talk.
took it.
And he can get free cast hours.
Yeah. Which he needs. I don't think he needs creativity, though. If I remember correctly. Oh, this would be service. I think he does need service. Yeah, he
I
probably
talked
So
to-
wait, what are cast hours for? Because like I love how like none of the teachers or Miss Baker like have completely like told us what they are.
Because they don't matter yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
You-
still,
There's just service or activity or like shit like that.
It's
People
Yeah.
creativity,
earlier.
activity, and service.
okay.
Yeah, so the reason why they haven't told you is because like here's what's happened. If they told you, there's gonna be some group of tryhards in your class who are gonna like, oh, I'm gonna start it, right? But you can't. It doesn't count until you're actually an IB.
And you can't do
So-
things you've and technically, you can't do things you've already done again.
Right? So if you actually were to start it right now and try to be a tryhard, you actually be screwing yourself over.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
what do you mean you can't do things you've done?
Like, for example, you do a lot of sports, right? From what I remember.
Yeah.
You
Are you-
can't technically count any of those because you're already doing them now. You can say you just started it this year, as long as you weren't doing them as part of a school team or something like that.
Wait, so what counts? Just not school teams?
No, it's anything it's any new experience you can use. And there's a couple of other requirements, but that's like don't get paid and stuff like that. It's if you're paid, you can't take it as a cast experience.
How are you supposed to do activity that's new to you? What?
Yeah, that's why for the most part, if you can, you don't join all the school teams like your first couple of years, because then you just join them later and say, oh look, I'm doing this for my first time. Look at that. And that's why why the tennis team is commonly referred to as IB tennis, because that's what every single IB student does.
Wait, so then volunteer hours like in sophomore year and like freshman year are pointless?
They're not. Wait.
No,
what?
so they're not pointless.
They're not pointless, but they're essentially pointless.
Right,
What's
so
the
the
point
thing.
of them then?
Okay, so what those hours will affect is things like outstanding senior award, for example, right? Like the crap that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As far as like colleges and bright futures and all that, CAS is the same. There's no real point doing anything for it. But if you're if you're one of the tryhards who wants like outstanding senior and stuff, then yeah, do stuff now. But just be aware that anything you do now, you're not gonna be able to count for CAS when the time comes.
Yeah.
Wait, so literally we don't, because everyone's been stressing about volunteers and talking about volunteer hours. We don't need to do volunteer hours right now?
What are you guys talking about? No, you don't.
No.
And as long as you complete, like the only real reason you need to do service hours is, well, the basic reason is there is a normal requirement for standard students, but then there's also like bright futures requirement. But you meet both of those requirements just from doing CAS.
Yeah.
Which you have to do to graduate anyway. So you're gonna do it.
Freaking out and doing service hours, that's so stupid.
Yeah. You don't.
I didn't do any service hours.
When you guys freak out, instead of just like freaking out, you should like email Miss Baker and ask if like your freaking out is necessary.
She
Most of the
doesn't
time it's
say
not.
anything. She literally
Baker does.
she's the most like she literally like if you ask her questions, her answers are so vague. Like she doesn't explain stuff. Like you know the people at King, they literally know what they're doing. Like they've already planned what they're
I
doing.
guess so ghetto.
Yeah, but at least they know what they're doing. Like
Yeah, no.
Dude, my
I
brother.
mean,
wants a
I've
kid.
never really had that experience of Miss Baker being like that. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
most of the time that
My
I've been talking to
brother-
Miss Baker, she's been pretty solid.
He went to King and he literally witnessed like drug deals in the bathroom.
I
Ah,
mean,
nice.
would I take drug deals, but having teachers who actually communicate with you? Yes, I would. Please.
Yeah, but I don't know if teachers actually communicate.
Well, they know what they're doing at least, and
See, there's-
it took us until senior year to figure out what we were doing.
But long story short, yeah, no need to fret about service hours unless you really want the stuff that doesn't matter, such as
Mhm.
outstanding seat.
So freshman and sophomore service hours don't matter.
They matter for the awards that don't affect your chances of getting into college or anything. Or if you end up dropping out of IB, then they matter. But
Yeah, that's the other part.
yeah, but as long as you're
But
staying in
as
IB,
far
then
as
don't matter.
getting your diploma and getting all your requirements for bright futures and for college, they don't.
Mhm.
Because you will, by definition, you will get all of those requirements from doing CAS, and you will do CAS because if you do not do CAS, you do not graduate.
Okay, so it's okay.
So yeah.
Could you go over lab number 5?
Number what? Number
Like,
number
the-
5.
Yeah, it's called the mass on a string.
That's right. Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. You guys have any other questions about how IB works? Feel free to ask us.
It's just like my brother was in IB, but like it's weird to I don't know. I don't like talking to him. He's annoying.
Nice.
He's a
Right.
tryhard though. Like I'm pretty sure he's more tryhard than you guys. Just
He's
'cause
definitely more
a
tryhard
girl.
than me. I mean, you've met my sister. I'm not.
He's tryhard.
I'm not my
Actually,
sister.
no. My brother's not even fucking tryhard. He just like is fucking. Ugh.
I can hear the hate in your voice.
Dude, he slept during class. Like he in high school, he slept during class in IB, and he got all A's like in class. And then like he goes to Hopkins and he's getting like straight A's every single year. He's graduating a semester early. Got a perfect on his MCAT.
Jesus.
Perfect on his ACT when he took that.
Damn.
I'm sad now.
It's okay. Okay, so Pendulum Lab.
It's fine though. For
I think
Okay.
we mostly moved past the
Wait.
pendulum one.
Sorry, Pendulum. I said Pendulum. I meant Mass on a Spring Lab.
I said 5.
Um,
Where's 5?
There's
Wait.
no 5 in there. It's just. I think like Mass on Spring is just Lab 5 for them, but like we don't know that.
Probably.
Am I correct? Okay, well the first part is like experimentally determine the spring constant. Then they conveniently give you an equation to figure out the spring constant. Also, it's using IB variables. So
Oh, it is.
yeah,
Look at
of
that.
course.
so
course.
it's K is equal to mg over change in x. S is change in x. That's an IB variable.
Yep.
If you want to like cross that out.
Difference between S and change in S is because he's always been using S. S is change in X is distance, right, or something like that.
Change next displacement.
Yeah, displacement.
Yeah.
Right, he's always used S for displacement. He taught us S is displacement.
Oh.
Never-
Well, I mean, and that's fine, but just be aware that as soon as you take the AP exam, you're not going to see S once.
Yeah.
Change in X is the same as S, basically.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is there another Mass on a Spring Vet Lab? What
Yes.
is
Which
it?
lab are we on?
We're on
Second,
the.
5. We're starting 5 right now.
If you have any questions on
Uh,
4, feel free to ask. We are moving at least decently fast.
Alright, so it says experimentally determine the spring constant using this equation. So it wants you to pick various masses and various displacements, and then, test them.
Well, here's a
And then
minor
find-
issue. There's only one mass, but you have the mass for, unless I'm dumb.
There's 200 gram, 250, 100, 150.
Yeah, you can do the vectors one. You don't have to do
Oh, I didn't notice. Okay, so there are 2 unknown masses and 1 mass you can change the mass up. Okay. I didn't see the bar at the top.
At the top, there's a bar at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the look. You can see my screen.
Oh,
This
it's because I haven't started the thing yet.
Hang on, this is beautiful. Hang on. There we go. Now we're talking. Anyway, yes, you can change the mass.
Stop it.
So, from what I can tell,
Wait, how come yours looks different than mine?
click on the lab, like this final tab at the
You
bottom.
can break this
Oh.
FetLab too. It's kind of funny. If you change, of course, you
Yeah,
change
I
the
already
to the
did.
most on the way down.
Already way ahead of you. Already way ahead.
Yes, you can make the spring go all the way past the spring. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. So, interesting that it doesn't actually have you. Oh no, it does.
So experiment determine the spring constant using this equation.
Mhm.
So We have spring force, weight force. Is MG weight force?
Yes.
MG, yes, it's going to be the weight
Okay,
force.
and then divided by your displacement. So
Yep.
mass, let's say, is. Wait, what?
So you would put like 100 for what I have here, right?
Yeah.
You would stop it.
Oh, you can make it bigger.
Yeah, there's a slider. at the
Yeah,
top.
there's a
so
slider.
you hit 100, for example. You'd hit stop so that it goes into its displaced position, or you can check mass equilibrium if you want.
Is it supposed to have dampening on or off?
It's not gonna matter for this one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter? Oh.
I don't
For
actually.
for this first one, it's not gonna matter. The other ones I haven't looked at, but this first one about the spring constant, it won't matter.
I'd say just leave it at whatever it starts at.
Alright.
I don't even know what it starts at because I changed it.
Let me
But it's
look. I
not,
didn't mess
like-
with it.
Between none
And one.
and
Yeah.
the second one. Yeah. No,
cool.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna put the mass on, and then if you want, you can check this mass equilibrium box, or you can hit stop. That's gonna show you its the displacement when the mass is on it, and you can check
Can you move the
natural
ruler?
length here. Yeah, and
Okay.
so then you put the ruler in the right spot, and that's your displacement.
Are we
For that
supposed
mass.
to use a ruler?
Is you supposed to use the funny?
The mass equilibrium and displacement thing?
I can't see why you wouldn't use the mass equilibrium one, but the displacement one, it depends on what he says.
I don't know what he says.
He
I
didn't
mean,
say
like,
anything about
the
that.
other
If he didn't say anything, make it easy on yourself and use both of them.
Well, like if you didn't, all you would do is this: you would like line the ruler up like there, and then you would put it on, and then you'd stop it. You know, like you'd get the same answer.
Yeah.
Because the ruler's already there. So I mean, I don't see what the difference is.
So you grab the ruler, put the thingy on the thingy.
Very descriptive.
Wait, so displacement, natural, mass equilibrium. I'm good at
So you-
mine.
So you're gonna do 3 different trials of 3 different masses. You're gonna put the mass you put with the displacement. Obviously, you know G is 9.8. And you just calculate, and that you should get the same number.
Sup, Neil?
Centimeters, right?
Hey. What was that?
Centimeters.
Yes, this is in centimeters.
That's a meter stick, apparently. That's a rather thick meter stick, but
You're a rather thick meter stick.
Shots fired.
I don't-
Shots fired.
okay. I can't even begin to think of what that would actually mean, but it's interesting.
And everyone's just going insane. Just accept it,
Fair enough.
especially after Donnie Dark.
Oh, God, don't remind me.
Remind you of what?
We had to watch a movie in TOK. It was so badly directed that they had to release a director's cut and a companion book in order for people to actually understand what the hell was going on.
No. According to an interview with the director, that's what he wanted. He wanted the movie to be confusing.
Cool. He's a bad
I'm not
director.
making this stuff up.
You know, it's so confusing. We online, because he doesn't stream or give us a link to the movie, we had to make do, and we were only able to find a non-director's cut of the movie, meaning that a lot of the complicated parts just wasn't explained. So we had to look those up ourselves, and then we had to write it was like an analysis on it today.
Val.
It's TOK is my least favorite class this year, by a
Okay.
lot.
Just because it sucks.
Because it sucks. All of the feedback you get is literally 3 words. Not enough effort on every single assignment. And then you always get 80s, or you always get like 90 to 70. You almost never get 100.
Well,
Unless you write 700 words, which I'm not doing.
Well, you know what, Alan? It's worked for me. So.
Okay, but how many hours? How long did it take you to write one assignment though?
50 minutes. Oh my God! It takes like 1 period.
I don't want to spend a whole period doing that. It's
Yeah,
boring.
but I mean, that strategy also doesn't work because there was like the essay proposal where he wanted us to include knowledge questions, even though the prompt did not say knowledge questions.
Mhm.
And his email, because I emailed him about it, was like, it says include your reasoning, and reasoning implies knowledge questions.
Yeah, no, it's He somehow manages to harp on us for not putting in enough effort, and then simultaneously put in the least effort I've ever seen out of a teacher.
Alright. Anyway, how are you guys doing with that first part of the lab? Are you guys getting a constant spring constant?
No, you guys have a whole lot of variation.
Recording
I'm
my
assuming we're on mass on
Discord.
spring.
Do you need help on any of the one for pendulum, or do you got that one pretty good? Because I can help you with
get
that after.
one.
Okay.
Alright. I'll look at it and I'll let you know.
Okay.
It'll always
Um,
take like us hours.
Yes. Also, remember for your best value for spring constant, I'm assuming he wants you to propagate masses, or not propagate masses, propagate errors. I'm assuming.
Like
Or no.
what? Like calculate the uncertainty for?
Yeah. Does he want you to propagate it properly, or has he taught you propagation of errors?
I don't even know what propagation is, my dude.
Alright, so never mind then. It's these equations here.
Isn't propagation like reproduction?
No.
Andrea.
Oh my god! Yeah, see, propagation, the breeding of specimens of a plant or animal by natural processes from the parent stock. See?
You said impregnation. I was like,
Impregnation.
It's like these equations. Have you seen these ones? Well, I guess these ones are have derivatives in them, but it's these equations. Has he shown you these before?
Uh,
no, we haven't.
wait,
No,
are
he
those
showed
the-
one similar to that at the beginning of the year because I was helping you guys out with it.
Are those uncertainty equations?
They're not at all the same variables that you guys used. The same variable, what they represent.
I'll send you the
but
sheet
yes.
of all this stuff.
Where's the? I had one at one point that was like actually good, and I can't find
Yeah,
it.
it's hard to find ones that are actually good.
Let's see if
There
I
was
can
there was a
actually
really good website, but I can't. Hang on. Let's see if I can find it. No, that's chemistry. I don't
Or
wanna
is
see
that
that in
something
the-
in general? I think that's the only thing I remember about. It's super small because my handwriting's super small, but I think you can open it and zoom in. Is that kind of what you're talking about, or no?
It doesn't involve. Does oh yeah, this is it. Yeah. So if he taught you this, then I'm assuming. Well, I don't know, cause so the best value for the spring constant, I'm assuming he wants you to average it, right, in the lab, the line below the table.
That's my dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if he wants you to average it, then technically you're supposed to propagate error, but I also don't see that in the rubric at the end of it. It says uncertainties are recorded. I don't see uncertainty. Oh, it does say. It says spring constant uncertainty is found correctly. Yeah, you do have to.
Wait, we don't have to like give a specific uncertainty, right? It's just like the source. Like we don't have to give a number, do we? 'Cause
Well,
it just says-
it depends. But these, you can because you can measure the uncertainty of the ruler as being half of the smallest tick mark, which would be half of a centimeter.
Oh,
And it does say in the rubric at the bottom, it says uncertainties are recorded, and it says spring constant uncertainty is found correctly. So yeah, you do need
the game
numbers.
is so toxic, and it's the game of life. We can calculate mg as 10, correct?
That is a what would Mr. Florence want question, because that's not a question either of us can answer.
I don't think he cares. I don't want to do 9.8. But that's so much effort. Wait, we actually have to calculate out the uncertainties? Please no.
Look, the rubric says spring constant uncertainty is found correctly. To me, that indicates calculate it. But you know, if you disagree, don't do it.
I don't disagree, I just don't want to do it.
Well,
What grade do you have in the class?
rip.
Like, wait, let me actually check.
We don't even know our grades since he hasn't done them.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I think
It's like a burger situation. Got it. Okay.
Cause like he gave us, you know how he gave us 80 retakes. So like he just put them all in my. They're just all in my learning, and my student literally has 1 grade for me. So yeah.
Okay,
think
you
it
can look at your
updated.
grade on my learning, assuming that he has the categories and stuff set up in my learning. Does
He
he?
doesn't.
Oh, well, I mean, if you wanted to go through and take the time, you could figure it out. But I can
I have a
understand why you would.
93, but I don't think I'm still gonna have a 93. It should go up a bit.
if it'll go up, then you can. How many points is this worth? How many points is the uncertainty worth on the lab?
50.
50 points.
Or the
Whatever. I'll
uncertainty
just
on the
do
lab.
it. It's not
There's
that
actually-
much.
Plus he gave us that.
You could just
extra
say it was a
credit
math
assignment,
error.
so it's
Oh yeah, we
Math
got
error.
14 points. Oh, yeah, we got 14 points of extra credit just for figuring out the answer. That was Go Army. Wait, I forgot what it was.
Navy.
Oh
Go
yeah,
Army,
beat
beat
Navy.
Navy.
It was literally just giving us a bunch of equations. We had to figure out what they were.
Wait, so then how do you find the spring constant uncertainty?
Uncertainty the spring constant will be. You have your uncertainty in your mass, which will be none, and then you have uncertainty in your displacement, which will be 0.5, and then you divide your mass by your displacement. So you'd add the. It'd be the percent. It'd be the. I forget what the term is. You'd add the relative uncertainties together, which would just be 0 plus the relative uncertainty of your displacement. So it's whatever your relative uncertainty of your displacement is would be your error in your spring constant.
Oh yeah. Andrew, could you like send that the document of like the uncertainty notes that you made?
It's in Gen.
Oh okay. Alright, thank you.
My handwriting's super small.
Well, how much,
Okay.
Nathan, real quick, how long are the notes for history?
It's 34 pages, 22 when you take out sources. If you haven't started at 10 o'clock.
What does it do though?
The history notes? Or they're
Yeah.
10 o'clock. 10
good?
o'clock.
Well, no, because the assignment is midnight, but although she does want them at 10.
Well, I mean, no. It's actually the opposite because out of all the notes, I have turned majority of them in after 10 because literally it's just not possible for me to turn them in at 10. And I haven't gotten anything late credit. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Pog? But you said it's 20
Also-
Is it 20 pages, like 20 pages of the notes we've done over the past couple days? Or is it
It's
different pages?
it's like 22 or maybe 25 pages. Like if you exclude all the pages that are just like images or sources, and I don't know. I guess it's kind of the same as the other notes, same density. I guess.
So it's like double what I've done over the past couple.
Yeah. It's long.
That's not. I mean, that's not terrible, but it's not nice. Sounds like it'll take like what, an hour? No, hour and a half.
I don't know how fast you're writing notes.
Well, how long has it taken you?
I mean, I'm really slow, so it's taking me like 2.5 hours. But
Oh Jesus. Okay.
all right,
What
here.
masses do we use? What?
Hmm?
Wait, you
Pick.
just use. For,
You just pick.
You just pick random masses. Okay. Good.
Oh
Yep,
yeah, it may,
you
may,
make-
okay. It's not random. You have to increase them by a certain amount every single time. But other than that, it's
got-
whatever you want.
So
I
maybe
found
just
the
use the
image.
one.
I found it, Alan.
Huh? It's fine.
I found the uncertainties thing.
100. Wait,
Oh,
I'm
nice.
assuming we use lab.
Yeah, that one's really easy to use.
100 grams. Wow, great man.
All right, Andrea.
Oh, you can change the mass and
I don't want to be fair. I have so much fucking sub work. It's so stupid. Like, why do you have to assign work if you're a sub? Nobody cares.
Is it for Spanish?
We got, yeah. I'm sure Ellie's told you, but
Oh, yeah,
our
the
sub didn't
Italian
even
lady.
speak Spanish
she's Italian.
or take Spanish in high school. She straight
Oh,
up
God.
spoke like Italian, and when I asked her to say something in Italian, she didn't even say anything because she said she forgot it.
Rip.
Did we have someone like that for our Spanish class? I don't think so.
No. We like the only people who tried to teach Spanish didn't know Spanish, but I mean the other substitutes were just like whatever. I don't know. Read your book.
Let's actually do the lab, bitch boy. Come on.
How the heck do I find the displacement?
Oh yeah, you weren't okay. So you see, if you look at my screen.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I got
So
the
what
ring
you're-
arrow.
Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna put this there and stop it, and then check natural length and mass equilibrium, and you just put
Oh,
the
wait, you have
ruler.
a ruler. Wait, where's the ruler? Wait.
It's on the
It's
on
like-
the right like little bar, where you have your stopwatch and your ruler.
Oh,
I'm gonna make this. Oh, wait, okay. I see. That helped.
Does anyone have anything that they want us to go over again? Or you guys just working on it for right now?
I think I'm good. Alright,
Okay.
thank you.
No problem. Feel free to ask if you want some other help with something. Ooh.
That's just for uncertainties in the mean, so you don't have to do like the uncertainty of adding all them and then the uncertainty of dividing by 2.
Yeah. I tell you, the uncertainty of divided by 2 is it doesn't add any, because it's a constant. But that's with the but you have to do it with relative, probably. What are you doing, Nathan?
Nothing.
I should probably work on my notes.
Sounds like a good idea.
Where's the idea? Should we stop the recording? I feel like we covered everything, right?
Well, what's the next part of the Spring Lab before we do that? Next
It's
part of
changing
Spring Lab.
mass. I think it's just changing mass.
Well, but aren't those like the same?
Oh, the first one is discerning the string constant.
Find the spring constant. The second one is find the period.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about how to do the second part of the lab?
Isn't that? Oh no, that doesn't count for mass.
All right. Make sure you draw graphs and stuff because I see that in the.
Yeah, make sure you
Great.
draw graphs. If you want, or you're confused or something like that, you could probably put an image of your graph in one of the homework help channels. We can look at it and see if you're missing anything. But for the most part, graphs are pretty easy. Just make sure you have your axes labeled and you have reasonable intervals, and you have your units on your axes as
Don't
well.
your dots.
Don't use the one on either Word or either Sheets or Excel that connects the dots, because the whole thing is that they're separate data points that you then draw a line of best fit through. Hmm. Alright, I'm gonna stop the recording for right now, because nothing much happened.